Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to see you all here and also connect with old friends and new people like Sofia, who's giving her talk tomorrow. It's her first time at Gala. And also thank you, Adam, for tea, because one trick, before you speak, you should not drink anything that is too cold, because then your brain slows down. So thank you for the tea. But today I'm going to talk about robots, because as we are going to all hear in the next few days, thank you, Igor. Robots, sorry, robots are going to take over, and they're going to be better than us. They're going to learn quicker. They're going to steal our jobs, or they're going to steal jobs from good Polish people. And I'm Polish, so I can actually say that. But also, at the end, they will turn against us, and they're going to conquer the world. And this is the type of language that we all hear all the time. But actually, some of it is true. And marketing, as I'm in marketing has emerged as one of the most fertile grounds for AI. And nowadays, marketing leaders should really start looking into those AI initiatives. Otherwise, they will be very quickly outpaced by their AI-enabled colleagues. So today, I would like to focus on marketing, future of sales, future of localization. But before I go there, I would like to ask who in this room is in sales? Oh wow, that's awesome. But guys, you know what we say in marketing? That you guys are just a very expensive marketing tool. Who is in marketing? Awesome. So let's talk later. And localization, pure localization role. Oh, just two people. Three. Okay. Thank you. That's great. But you know what? When I would like to focus today on skills, like what we need to develop to be competitive tomorrow. Because if machines are going to be better, is there any sense to learn anything today? And I would like to quote Steve Jobs, who says, Steve Jobs, famous for saying that we overestimate the impact of disruptive technologies in the next 2 years, but we completely underestimate the impact in the next 10. When we look at the numbers, AI technologies made $7 billion last year. Next year, it's going to already double. In the next 5 years, 90 billion. There's a very interesting study by Adobe asking office workers if they're looking forward to using AI. 90% of them are very happy to use technology. Actually, Germans are leading. 76% of Germans would like to have an intelligent assistant at work. And when you also ask Germans, Americans, and English if they feel that we should also focus on human interactions, Germans are also leading. Now, another piece of research, The Guardian, who's looking at the jobs that are going to the most benefit from automation, or as they actually say it, either the risk of disappearing. And if you look at those, they're not necessarily low-skilled jobs, as you might assume. So the top one is telemarketer. Just very recently, Google released a technology that can book for you restaurants, that can even call your aunts and uncles and wish them happy birthday. I mean, it's just an incredible thing to look for. But also, that technology can be used for telemarketing. And here I would like to mention another company, Conversica. If we talk about sales, and you guys in sales, you know what that could be useful for you. For only 4,000 per month, that Conversica can send an unlimited number of emails to an unlimited number of people. And when you think about how much it costs to recruit, an inside sales, this is a pretty good price. The only thing you need to do is to choose a persona. And one of the most successful ones that is loved by clients is Sally from California, who is a happy, shiny girl. And she speaks with clients, asks them if they want to set up a meeting, and nobody knows she's a machine. The good thing about Sally is that she's never sick, she's never hangovered, and she's never on maternity leave. So now, she's fluent in English, but the company is also developing Chinese and Spanish, which is a fantastic job for any LSP to be involved in this type of technologies. Another one, paralegal. And actually, I used to be a paralegal myself in New York. My law firm was charging clients $150 for whatever I did, and they paid me $20. So that was, an awesome gold mine for law firms. But that's over now, because nowadays there are 100,000 paralegal jobs that are going to just disappear. And this is also because of technology and also because of Google, because they've been developing this AI technology for the last 4 years. where basically they can analyze the unlimited volume of files, and they can predict the outcome of a trial with more accuracy than senior partners at Magic Circle law firms, which are the top 5 law firms in the UK. And that's at the fraction of the cost and, of course, fraction of the time. And they actually did the comparison. So the senior partners at those Magic Circle law firms got 65% accuracy, Google 86, and it's getting better. So you might think that we should consider ourselves lucky in the localization industry because we've been exposed to MT for forever. But paralegals, they are probably not expecting that yet. So in that sense, law firms and LSPs are very similar because that disruptive technology is going to make lots of change there. And the last one, fast food. That's also a ripe industry for AI. And of course, there's IT, there's staffing, because some of those people are probably not reliable. Also, in my long career, I used to work in a pizza place, so I know how it was. But actually, if you want to see how else they can use AI, you can watch a movie about flipping burgers in California. So those are all different uses for AI that are really going to change how we work. But because today I want to focus on marketing, localization, and sales, I would like to organize it around the content or global content supply chain. Because at the end, we all work with content. So marketing, creating content, localization, localizing, and sales, distributing that to their clients. And what's actually interesting is that nowadays, truncating those 3 positions is very old school. Many companies are going now towards alignment of marketing and sales. And this is what's going to make you successful, to really align those 2 roles, especially now with AI. But what about localization? It's still always an afterthought. And I think here we have a mission as LSPs to really make our clients understand that that should be a part of this process. Because at the end, all of that should be well orchestrated, delivered, the platforms, using different connectors. It all is a global supply chain. So let's start with marketing. Lots of technologies here, just a few examples. How we are already using AI today. And all of this is actually going to help sales. So on one side, efficiency tools, marketing orchestration. It is said that an average company, average marketing organization, is using now 14 to 20 different tools. And that's only going to grow. So the trend is more. Augmented marketing analytics. So here an example from HRGo, who is testing constantly 1,000 designs on their website and checking which design will work better with the clients. And they get actually 150% conversion rate thanks to AI. And AI created content. So of course the future, and that's where LSP should be also in. And this is the differentiation, machine first or human first. If we use AI correctly, that will be able to establish if that content should go to human or maybe to a machine, which will be a huge save of time. And at the end, there are not enough humans in the world, not enough translators to translate all the stuff that is being created. It's already being used for reports, market summaries. Conversational experiences, chatbots. There's Paula here from Argentina. I don't know if she's here in the room. She's actually developing chatbots, and this is the future, because at the end, what's calculated, only 1/3 of sales time is spent on speaking with clients or prospects. Chatbots can do it anytime. And at the end, right now when you think about it, the system is very old school, because a client has a need now, he talks to us or sends an email, then we respond to him when we have time. At the end, it's very, very truncated. Chatbots can do it all the time. And actually, Epson is using a chatbot that can communicate 6 to 8 times. They actually got $2 million more within just 3 months, thanks to those chatbots. Of course, that's there's always a risk into it. And I know how many of you heard about Tay from Microsoft? Oh, Jessica, of course. Yeah, one more. Okay, so let me tell you the story. So Microsoft unleashed, honestly, a beast. Basically, they created this persona on Twitter that was supposed to be a 19-year-old, facetious, fun, loving girl. And people would chat with her on Twitter, and then she would learn and chat more. And very quickly, she became a total nightmare. She became a sex-crazed, Nazi, racist, hating Jews, building a wall in Mexico person. I mean, I'm not going to show you those things, but you should Google that. I mean, it's pretty offensive. And they had to take it down within 1 day because people just learn how to teach that, the chatbot really offensive things. So, but now, real-time personalization. So I used to work for Art Danley. I mean, I always was in the same company, but it's just being acquired, spin-off. Art Danley, even 5 years ago, when working with Nike, they had those personalization screens. And this was the idea that we actually created. Basically, you could walk in a Nike store, and the machine, the camera would see what gender you are, what age, what ethnicity, what is your style, and it would suggest a different ad for you. At the end, Nike didn't go for it because they thought that could be not very politically correct in some senses, but that exists. And Stella Dot, as you could see, I'm not quoting here any fancy companies, just to show you that even a small company with some budget for AI and some vision can really grow. So Stella and Dot sells jewelry. They have 3 groups of women who buy it. So either you just want to buy jewelry, or you want to sell jewelry, or you want to host a party. And they have only one website. So how they do that, they personalize it. They run 700 different pages, 25 different headlines, and within just very short time, they managed to grow the conversion by 400%. Because they noticed that those women, they would react differently to different headlines. Lead gen and scoring, I mean, this is a dream for marketing. It would be amazing to just have a number next to a lead, but unfortunately, the technology is not perfect yet, because the technology would advise you to call someone, and they don't know if that person died. I'm sorry, I'm quoting here a research paper, so they actually use that example. Intelligent pricing. That's also awesome. In my long career, I used to work for a big farm that was the biggest producer of tomatoes in Poland. So what we had to do every morning, I had to call all the producers in Poland and ask them what was the price of tomatoes. And they were super rude with me, shouting on the phone, swearing. I mean, we never were able to set the price right. Now, when you have this type of technology, that helps you screen all different discounts, promotions, and suggest the best price for you at that specific moment. Of course, making money for the company. It's used by Orlen. Those, a few people here from Poland know it's the biggest company in Poland, gas stations. So basically what happens with Orlen is that instead of having, for their food and drinks, instead of having a board saying, price, set price, they have screens. So if the machine knows that there is a pilgrimage going to the holy town of Częstochowa, suddenly you can see that on that route, coffee becomes a bit more expensive. And that's intelligent pricing. Yeah. yeah, exactly. So audio CRM, this is the future. Salesforce, we have Cornelia here from Salesforce. She can tell you more about it. This is just an amazing thing. So no more retyping things in Salesforce. Basically, you can just talk to it, or it can listen to you and code the call for you or the meeting. And finally, augmented reality sales roleplay. All of you in sales, I'm sure that you've been to some roleplays, and usually they're pretty embarrassing. And at the end, they never give you the real, the real feeling, because they never prepare you to speak with your clients. But actually, those augmented reality plays could be the future, and the future is really in sales enablement, because also what we do now, it's very old school, which is to invite everybody in January for the global, sales kickoff, train them in January, and expect them to be, with the speed, applying new innovations throughout the year. Actually, sales enablement has to happen constantly if you want those people to be agile. But then, this is how marketing can help in terms of, how AI can help marketing and sales. But actually, there's another big trend in marketing, which actually shows where we humans are still, can still have value. And this is because marketing is going through a huge transformation. And I'm sure that you've all seen that, because we're all customers here. And we all want a well-connected, seamless, hyper-relevant experience, whatever we need it, right? And it has to be just super simple. And this is the trend. This is what's happening now. So traditional marketing is changing from piece, which was the price, product, place, placement, people, the marketing piece, to marketing ease, which is experience, engagement, exclusivity, and emotion. And now what's even the next trend is eyes, involvement. And this is really linked with the evolution of our societies, and we have here a few representatives from the Warsaw Pact, so the ex-communist countries here. So you all know what happened after. We have Ukraine, we have Czech Republic, right? Poland. So basically, we all know what happened after the end of communism. Everybody started to buy everything, and this is the marketing piece, consumption, because we all wanted to have those television sets and cars and everything. But then you had already enough of those, so you start looking into experience. And that's why we all started to travel and do bungee jumping and eating all the exotic food, because we've never had that before. But now on Instagram, we see that everybody has done it. So we want to, everybody was everywhere. So what's next? The next is really involvement, and that's the giving back to society. And this is where marketing needs to be now. So giving you a purpose, value, packing something not in plastic but in a paper bag, right? Talking about recycling, that's where marketing should go now. And think about Tesla. And actually, good example, we have Mercedes-Benz here. You know how much Mercedes spends on one car for marketing? Does anybody know? It's around $1,000 per one car spent on marketing. It's a marketing powerhouse. But last year, when you compared with Tesla, or in a few years, people will talk more about Tesla, and Tesla only spends $6 for marketing per car. So it's a fraction of what Mercedes-Benz spends. But Mercedes was talking to the world about buying their cars, and Tesla was talking about the fossil fuel-free future. And this is what was really engaging. So that's really the future. So customize, we talk about customize, one-on-one relations, too much choice, of course, influencers. I mean, one of the examples that, guys, you may remember, Mila Kunis, you spend $1 on Mila Kunis, comes back 10. So influencers are very important. And meaningful stories about humans. And that's where marketing really can benefit from AI and from all that data. I went to a fantastic presentation by the CMO of Spotify, who says that they have so much data. I mean, it's incredible. They can predict if you are pregnant, if you are going to break up, or if you just broke up, or if you are going to cheat on your husband, or all kinds of things. And this is based on your playlists. And how they actually, and this is what's actually interesting about it, is that how they can use that for ads. And this is really the human creativity that comes in here, and the real stories. So this is the example. Maybe you've seen it before. I think it's brilliant. Dear person in Venice who listened to Adele for 4 straight hours on Valentine's Day. You okay? And this one, dear 3,000-something people who streamed It's the End of the World as We Know It on the day of the Brexit vote. Hanging there, right? So it's AI and the humans. Yeah, I think it's just brilliant. Okay, next one. So what are the skills that we need to learn today, right? So what's left for us if AI is going to take over? Agility, of course, to adapt constantly. And also the last one here, creativity in using AI to boost your business. I'm sure that Big Four, Accenture, all those companies are going to make so much money on us because there will be so many technologies that who is going to know which technology to use for what process? It's going to be really a gold business. Soft skills, and this is what Jessica was mentioning before, to interact with your clients. Of course, math and data. Today, marketing without math, I mean, this is just, it is not existent. Privacy concerns, very important because machines, AI, doesn't have an idea about morals, right? So how to manage that, how to factor the GDPR and other interesting things. And the last thing I wanted to show, I mean, this is Tesla, creating content that audience will love. Okay, I have 10 minutes. Great. So it's all about context. And when you think about it, context is something that you demand. So when you go to LinkedIn, you go to Facebook, every single time you open Facebook, there are 1,000 messages waiting for you. So how can you know which one to read? And this is all based on context. And actually, that's the future. Okay, so now let me go quickly to localization as the next step in that content. So of course, as LSPs here, I think we need to really see where we can add value when we look at all that transformation in marketing. So on one side, I mentioned creating this fantastic content that the audience would love. That's obviously an opportunity for for copywriters. But also content explosion. If you look how much money companies are spending on content, so 2 years ago, they were spending 740 million. Now they're spending over 2 billion. It's only going to grow, and someone needs to manage that. More digital channels, same thing. So many different formats. Regulated, secure content, also a big topic. Speech recognition, that we all know about that. But actually, do you know that there's regulations that require you to adapt your content for people who are hearing impaired or maybe they're vision impaired? And this is, on one side is the regulation, but on the other, if you don't give it to those people who cannot use your website, you are losing a huge market share. For example, there is the Federation for the Blind in the United States that is suing one company after the other because they mentioned that the website is not accessible. They sued Target, they sued HR Block, many of those companies. And they paid not only huge fines, but when you think about it, how much business they lost because there was no speech recognition. Creating content, leveraging audio, adding more music and more audio, this is also the future, but also technology, natural language generation, NLP, and text analytics. So I put here a logo of one company, Tazoo, who's analyzing text. For example, they go on Twitter and they can see if that person, like whoever that person is, Lady Gaga or whatever, if that person is maybe depressed, negative, positive, and they can do that by analyzing the speech. They analyze the speech of politicians. It's just a fantastic technology, and I think it's also a great market for LSPs to be there. But now, just a few words about sales. So as Jessica mentioned before, all those AI technologies, they're going to make you more efficient. Because at the end, they will take away all those boring tasks, but will turn you into consultants, which is really the human skill. So we say that AI is not the death of a salesman, but rather a death of a lazy salesman, because it's because that's, now if you are not efficient, then honestly, maybe that's not the best place for you. Actually, it says that now only 20% of sales reps, and I think all you guys in sales here, only 20% of sales reps right now attain their quota. So so it's a perfect time to be in sales now, because finally, you are going to make lots of money. So what's also happening that all those companies who are using AI, they're actually hiring more people. So those are all the data from Salesforce. And the future of sales, on one side, the sales metrics are going to change. So it's not going to be all about, there's how many licenses you sold, but rather, what was the customer satisfaction? I spoke before about the experience, but at the end, it's also marketing is now looking not only at the things like ROI, conversion, but rather different metrics that reflect better customer experience, because that's really the future. And the experience, in our case, it's every single touch point that your customer had with your brand. So it doesn't really matter who you are in that organization. They could pay for an invoice, go to a website. This is all customer experience. Important thing, I think, for everybody who's in technology here, reps will be compensated on usage, not deal size. So right now we are paying for a license, for a year, for renewals. But in the future, probably it will be like an Uber or Airbnb. So you just want that technology to use for a few hours per day. And I think we should also enable that in our pricing mix. Customer service agents, and of course, the chatbots that are going to improve and help you attain more. And finally, just a quote from also Salesforce, Peter Schwartz, who said that he doesn't like the expression artificial intelligence, because for him, it's not artificial, it's augmented intelligence. So sales reps with the technology will be able to be just more efficient. And he says, I'll be more worried about being replaced by another salesperson who is empowered by intelligence than by a machine. And just to end, because I think that's it, right? Seamus. I would like to, 5 minutes, oh, perfect. So, I don't need even 5. So this is I just wanted to finish with predictions that SDL, so my company, is making about the future states of content. I don't know if anybody of you knows this piece of research? Just Adam. Oh, Adam, thank you. But I would like to invite you to go on our website, also to our booth, and read about that, because it's actually quite interesting to see what we think will happen with the content. And we believe that content will create itself, be agile, organize itself, be secure, and be your best salesperson. And there's lots of implication in this one with the AI and linguistic artificial intelligence that will help you first create this text, organize it, be agile, so it has to be machine first. So the text needs to be ready for machine translation, has to be secure, and then will be at the end will be your best salesperson. So those are all the elements that we would need to, that us collectively here would need to have in mind when designing technologies, new technologies or services. And right now we're actually creating a new piece of paper which is enabling the 5 future states of content. And this is about exactly what technologies might match with those steps. So I highly recommend that you go and you check this piece. So basically that's all I wanted to say today, is that one thing that we all need to remember is that there is no time. And we have no time to play with different technologies and figure out what is the next steps. We really need to act very, very quickly, because otherwise we will be outpaced by our competition. But at the end, we also need to remember, this is what Peter Schwartz said, that if we focus too much on the process and on the selling cycles, we forget one thing, that it's the client at the end who buys it. So we might as well better focus on the client, because at the end, humans are going to buy from humans. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabina. So we have 10 minutes for Q&A. So I don't know if you want to use this mic, and I'll do the floor. So, any questions?
It's a bit heavy.
I mean, this is an absolutely huge area.
Sorry. Question from eBay.
No, not eBay anymore, but from the perspective of a global content strategist. You mentioned at the beginning that IA also gets really important in the area of content creation.
Absolutely.
Do you have a couple of more examples about it? Because there's not much to find.
Okay. It's actually already used now. So on one side, you have those technologies that can analyze an unlimited volume of files, right? And for example, they can analyze different books and different things, and they can select the key points for you, and they can even suggest your social media posts. So this is one of the uses of market. They create only one snippet, but it saves you so much time on reading all that content. So this is great if you are a student or if you are in marketing. On the other side, there are all those AI technologies that help you create market summaries. So they're already used by different PR agencies or different researchers, analysts. Basically, they can analyze different trends, put that in a template, and create a ready report for you. And of course, that's the use of that is still very rudimentary, but you might think it will only grow. And one thing that it will also happen is that the AI should be able to suggest, or also do the analysis and suggest if that content should be done by a human because it's more value, or if it should be done by a machine. So that's the next step, and this is what we are talking about in the 5 future states of content.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else got a question?
Hi. My question really
I wish I could walk.
Yep. Based a little bit on what Jessica was saying in the last session and also on what you were saying. The idea that AI can help us in sales with the boring admin tasks, but at the same time, the most valuable thing that we can bring to it as humans is that kind of contact and relationship and being consultative. At what point do the two meet? And at what point does technology become off-putting for a client?
Great. Salesforce is creating an invisible CRM, which is going to analyze different data that comes from the website or maybe from your own input in Salesforce, and it's going to suggest that, you should really call this person today. So this is one of those moments when you can you can add value and build that relationship, but at the end, it's also going to remind you about all those things that are maybe happening with your database. And I think that will be a huge time saver for any sales rep. But at the end, we all know that we need, and this is what marketing also knows, that we need to connect with humans. And and that's why in marketing you have the value-based marketing, purpose. You see how Tesla is, how well they do because of that story. it's just going to stay. But AI is going to help you maybe choose a different target and maybe analyze the data and not only spend money on things that don't bring any ROI. And just I spoke yesterday with Paula that I mentioned before that is working on chatbots. And she mentioned that they do at the same time, they use chatbots on the website and they use the traditional pay-per-clicks with Google. They have 4 times more conversion with chatbots. Yeah.
Any questions? Any further questions? Last chance, going once.
Oh, good.
Hi. You mentioned like Spotify and there's
yes.
Other text recognition software which can recognize your emotion, how you're feeling, and so on. And you say like Salesforce will suggest you call someone for a sale. How do you think this can interact together, and how can this not be backfire for selling if someone says, okay, one of your person that you should call today is feeling sad because his playlist is really sad, and we haven't talked for a while, and then maybe you should call them, and then that person actually recognized this as that someone's calling out of the blue, and then they're like, okay, I don't want to talk, and this is going to be even worsen the situation.
Okay, but how that person would know that you knew, right? That's another question. That this is, of course, there are just many things, but I think people are quite naive yet, so we should be using that now, because in a few years, maybe, but maybe you remember there was this amazing technology called, I believe, Crystal, that basically it's for free. You can download it, and you can add it to your LinkedIn, and you can look at all your colleagues, your boss, or your prospects, and you can see what type of person they are. Do they like, to have like informal conversation or more formal? Do they understand more facts, or they prefer data, or they rather want like funny jokes? And this is the Crystal who can give you that today. So, and people don't know that you are using it. But one thing that we need to remember, and this is so very, very important, is GDPR. And then, of course, e-privacy. And I'm a big fan of GDPR because I was an attorney before, so finally an exciting project for marketing. But what it is really is that you cannot use anymore the rich data and profiling. Because before, you might notice you were working next to a primary school every day, and suddenly you would get ads for like children's clothing. And this is rich data and profiling. GDPR is not going to allow you to do that anymore.
Takers?
Got it. I did, and it. Honestly, I thought that was just spot on. I analyzed my boss, everybody in the company, and I was even showing that at different presentations, and they were like, it's incredible. It really is. It just shows how much data you put there without even knowing, all the cats that you like and the babies and. All
right, so I'd like to thank
thank
Sabina.
You. Thank you.